Welcome in, listener. You're listening to a segment from the Slumpbuster podcast with Ju-Ju and Dre. Find the full episode on Spotify, iTunes, the Google Play Store, or our YouTube channel. Enjoy.
All right. I think I am ready to finally sit down and look at our picks for this coming weekend. So this week, I had a big bounce back week, 12-4. Dre finished 9-7. I have a 2-game lead at 21-11. Dre, you're sitting at 19-13. How do you feel about your week 2?
I'm still, winning as far as picks, right? I'm above 500. Don't worry, I'll catch up, Ju-Ju. I'll be just fine.
Well, going through the Twitter thread, I guess I just got so used to putting a red X next to your name that I just started to develop the habit. So thank you for checking me on that.
Yes, this was a huge controversy.
Yeah.
Blowing up because Aundre was super mad.
Yeah, so just so the viewers or listeners, know what we're talking about is we're going back and forth this weekend, and Juju's like, "Oh, I want another pick, you lost. I want another pick, you lost." And like 5 of them, Ju-Ju had wrong because they were not the picks that I had. I was like, no, I know for a fact that I did not choose these guys to lose. So Juju's trying to cheat. In fact, I better go back through and check these records again. So I might not actually be down by 2 games.
I mean, I've been watching Bill Belichick and Tom Brady for years. You just pick up a thing or two. Anyway, so let's move into the actual games. We didn't actually officially make a pick, but I'm pretty sure we were both picking the tight ends last night, unless I'm wrong. So,
yeah.
So with that said, the tight ends ended up losing to the Jaguars 20-7. Marcus Mariota looked terrible right now in a contract year. Doesn't speak well for his long-term staying power in Tennessee. And then obviously a big headline this week was Jalen Ramsey wanting out of Jacksonville. What do you make of that matchup real quick? I mean, it wasn't the most exciting game in the world, so we don't need to touch on it a ton, but just light recap.
Yeah, so Jacksonville for me, I was actually surprised that they won by that much. I had Jacksonville possibly winning. The Titans, I think, are good, maybe slightly even underrated, but I was surprised that the Jaguars were able to win by that much.
Like I said, it's disappointing when you look at it from a Marcus Mariota standpoint. This guy really needed to play up this year, and I don't know what to make of Tennessee right now. So they come out with that big week 1, blow the Browns out of the water, and then they come out flat the next 2 weeks against the Colts and the Jaguars. This team still has a good defense, and I don't know. They're just going to be one of those average teams. I go back to where I ranked them kind of to begin the season. I had them as a 6-10 team. Moved on up to 7-9 after Andrew Luck's retirement, but I think that's just right about where they sit because week to week they're so inconsistent.
Yeah, I think they're going to fall into the trap that the Dolphins were in, where Tannehill's good enough to keep them competitive, but not good enough to compete for anything. That's exactly where the Titans are right now. A mediocre quarterback who's good enough to get him into the playoffs every now and again, but not good enough to actually make a run at the Super Bowl.
Paying mind to my co-host time right now too. I know Dre, you have to start heading out soon, so we're just going to rapid fire through the picks here soon. Aris, if you'd be so kind, would you carry us through these picks, set up the games for us?
Yeah. So we got the Bengals at the Bills. Bills are -6.
You could go first, Ju-Ju, and then I'll take the next one.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just trade off here. Bengals at the Bills right now. I think 6-point line. I'm going to take the Bills. And I'm actually going to go over because when I looked at the Bengals last week, they didn't really do a whole lot on offense. Obviously, the Niners blew them out of the water, which I was pretty happy about. And then Josh Allen, I mean, this guy has really come out swinging this year. Bills Mafia, give me the Bills, give me the points.
Okay, yeah, so I totally agree. I think the Bills are going to win. Josh Allen's looking really good. However, I don't think they're going to cover that spread. I'm going to take the Bills, but I'll take the under.
All right. I think we know who the next game who you guys are going to pick because it is the Dolphins at the Cowboys. Cowboys are -23. Are any of you guys picking the Dolphins real quick?
No, not going to happen. And in fact, so we introduced this with the listeners last week. I'm going to take the Cowboys, and this will be my lock of the week.
Lock of the week. Just to reemphasize what lock of the week is essentially Aundre, if he gets this right, which suggestions say he probably will, he will get +2 in the rankings. If the Dolphins pull off a Miami Miracle, he would have -2. But in fairness, I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to go with the Cowboys too. 23 points. Here's the thing about the Dolphins. So I bet the under the last 2 weeks because the lines have been so ridiculous that a 23-point line tells me that I have to bet the under again. But this team is so bad. I just am so conflicted here. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt again. I'm going to bet the under just because 23 points at the NFL is so absurd in general. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys, but give me the under.
Yeah, it's absurd. I'd take the over, though. Sorry, Aris. Sorry.
We're getting into that part of the year where the Cowboys are going to be 3-0. They're going to play 3 garbage teams. And Cowboys fans are going to be like, it's our year. It's our year. We're going to win this. Dak MVP. So Cowboys fans, just simmer down. You haven't played anybody yet. You've played the Dolphins and the Giants and the Redskins. Simmer down. All right, next game we have Broncos at Packers. Packers are a 7.5 favorite. Who you got?
All right, so going into it, Broncos versus the Packers. I picked the Broncos last week, and I was right up until the last 30 seconds of the game when they decided to lose on an Eddie Pinheiro 54-yard field goal. With that said, this offense has looked terrible the last few weeks. It's not going to get much better going on the road, especially with how the Packers have been playing. Go ahead and give me the Packers, and I'm actually going to go under on this one.
Yep, I agree 100%. I think the Packers have not looked super great, so that's why I'm not going to take the over for them. But I still think they look better than the Broncos, enough to say that I think they'll win. But I do think it'll be under.
All right, next we got Falcons at the Colts. Colts are a 1.5-point favorite.
I think I'm going to take the Falcons still. I know the Colts are favored, but you got Matt Ryan, is a fantastic. Julio Jones is right there. The Falcons have been a little bit hard to read this season. They're not as good as I had thought that they were going to be, but at the same time, they don't necessarily look like too bad in some other points, So I'm going to still take the Falcons, and obviously, they'll cover that spread if they win.
I think the Falcons as well, just because when I look at this team, they're coming off a big victory in Philadelphia. We haven't even seen the best version of this team right now. Obviously, Matty Ice decided to throw 3 picks last week against the Eagles. Give me them, especially since they're playing a bit of a softer defense in the Colts. I don't know, still don't know what to make of the Colts just yet, but especially coming off giving everything to the Chargers in week 1 and then actually winning against Tennessee last week on the road. So hard team to read. I'm still going with the Falcons, though.
Yeah, this is the smallest spread of the week, so it's basically a pick 'em. So it's bound to be a close game, especially Falcons I don't know what's going on with them right now. So now we have probably the game of the week, Ravens at the Chiefs. Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite. Who you got?
Okay, when it comes to the Chiefs and the Ravens, so the Ravens haven't really played anyone right now. They played the Dolphins, they played the Cardinals. I think the Chiefs, that offense, it's so hard to slow down. Just go ahead and give me the Chiefs. I picked them to go 14-2, so I'm just going with my record at this point. Give me them, and I'm going to bet the over.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is a big game actually for the Ravens. So I think no matter what, the Ravens are going to lose, but it's going to show us just how good they actually are. And so if they can compete well with the Chiefs, I think it'll prove how high everybody's ranking them, sort of in, the power rankings just around the internet. I still, am hesitant to think that the Ravens will do that great just because they haven't really played anybody. So I'm still taking the Chiefs. I'll take the over.
All righty. So next we have the Raiders going to Minnesota to face the master thief in Kirk Cousins. This is a 9.5-point favorite for the Vikings. Who you guys got?
Yeah, so I'm going to take Minnesota. I'm going to take the over. I think they're just the all-around better team. I still think the Raiders are also in sort of this weird sort of tank mode that we don't want to make it exactly look like tanking. They've actually been doing better than I thought they would do this season. But still, I think Minnesota's going to win.
When I consider these two teams, Derek Carr's just inability to throw downfield, his dinking and dacking, as it used to be called, will not play well against the Vikings. I think I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to bet the over on a 9.5-point line because I do think that this is going to be a bad game for the Raiders. They have to go East Coast for this one. And the Vikings, as long as they don't let Kirk Cousins throw the ball more than 10 times, I think they'll be fine.
No. He needs to throw the ball more than 10 times because I have Stephon Diggs on a fantasy team. Throw the ball, guys. All right, next we have Jets at the Patriots. Patriots are a 21.5-point favorite. Jets are wheeling in a fifth-string quarterback at this point for this game. Are either of you guys going Jets and lost your mind here?
No. Short answer, no. It'll be the Patriots, and I have no doubt about that. Though I don't I might take the under on that, but I could see them racking up more than 21 points, 22 points.
Regardless of distractions from the whole AB dilemma of the Patriots team, let's face it, the only winner here is going to be mononucleosis. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Patriots. And, God, do I want to also go over on this one? I'm going to say no. I'm going to bet the under. I think the Patriots might pull back a little bit as far as, like, do they want to legitimately blow out the Jets? I'm going to go Patriots and the under.
Right. Next, we have the Lions at the Eagles. Eagles are a 6-point favorite. Who you got?
Okay, so looking at this game, so the Lions are actually a popular upset pick in this matchup just because of all the injuries, everything that was going on with the Eagles this past week. But they're coming off a big victory against, I forget which team that was. Remind me, Aris, who did the Lions beat last week?
Who? Huh? What? Aundre, did you hear something?
It doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway, you know what? I am going to go with the Lions this week. They're going to be my upset pick against the Eagles.
Okay, so one, for the sake of being different, I think we've had most of the same picks. I don't think lightning is going to strike twice for this team, so I'm going to take the Eagles. I don't think the Lions will be able to upset the Eagles at home. Though I had the Eagles winning pretty much right around there, so I'll take the slight over and say, no, the Eagles actually haven't looked that good. I'll take the under.
All right. So next game, probably had people choosing one side, but now after the news that Cam Newton's not going to be playing, people are probably going to be picking the other side. Panthers at the Cardinals. Cardinals are a 2-point favorites. Did this Cam injury kind of sway you guys at all?
I had originally Carolina winning, but barely. But now I like what Kyler Murray's been doing. I think he's on a bad team, but he still looks really good. And they've played a lot better than I thought that they would, right? Even against the Lions. And so I think the Cardinals are going to win this one. And 2 points, it's hard to take the under, so I guess I'll go the over on that one.
You mentioned that, and we mentioned it last week, Vegas with these 2-point lines, but Vegas is insane, like in that Bears game. So obviously that game got swayed on a field goal. And it only really mattered because of a missed extra point. They bet 2 points on that, and they got it.
It's true. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, the Broncos game, that was
So in terms of this game here, Kyler Murray's actually been a little bit more impressive than I thought ever since he kind of figured things out late in that week 1 game against the Lions. And then you're talking about the Panthers team that they're coming off a rough Thursday night. Granted, they've had a lot of time to rest up for this game.
No Cam, though.
But they got Kyle Allen. You know what? I'm going to take the Panthers in an upset.
All righty. This game's probably going to be the worst played game this weekend. I don't know if it's possible for both teams to lose a game at the same time that are playing each other. We have the Giants at the Bucs. Bucs are a 6-point favorite. Rookie debut. Jameis on a contract year. I'm not watching this game. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who plays more like a rookie, Daniel Jones or Jameis. But I'm going to go I've heard this is a popular upset pick, so I'm going to take the Giants actually. Now, I think that it's just a matter of being re-energized because they were playing just, they had a little bit of malaise with Eli Manning over these last couple of years. So even though I don't think Daniel Jones is going to have an amazing rookie season, I've said as much on previous podcasts, I think this could be at least his shining debut. So go ahead and give me the Giants in this matchup.
No, I'm going to take the safe pick. I'm going to go Buccaneers. I think Jameis just has the experience. Arians, I think, is a better coach. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I Daniel Jones did look good in the preseason, a lot better than I thought he would, but I don't think he pulls it off.
So next, this one probably swayed a lot of people too. Saints at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are now a 4-point favorite with the injury to Drew Brees. Who you guys liking here?
I'm going to take the Seahawks on this one. Sucks that Drew Brees is out. I know Bridgewater has, obviously played at the NFL level before, but the Seahawks at home, right, one of the loudest stadiums on the planet. I've got the Seahawks, and I think it will be a close game, but I'll take the over.
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that Teddy Bridgewater's last big game for the Vikings was playing this same Seahawks team in the playoffs. And that was the game that infamously Blair Walsh missed the field goal. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Seahawks just because I love Teddy Bridgewater, and I think his long-term future is going to be just fine. But first game, 12th man, it just doesn't line up very good for the Saints overall. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks, and I'm going to go ahead and give them the points.
This is going to determine our friendship. This will determine our friendship, and this will determine if I continue to do this with you guys. The Texans at the Chargers. Chargers are a 3-point favorite. Our kicker is actually maybe going to play this week. He doomed us last week. We had our punter kicking field goals. Otherwise, we would have won that game. Thank you very much. So, who do you got in the soccer stadium in Carson, California? You better say the Chargers.
I could take this one. I will actually go the no, I'm going Texans.
Aundre.
I'll go the Texans. I think they're gonna win. I think the Chargers will bounce back from the week that they had last week, but I still go the Texans. I think they're the better team right now.
Well, Aris, at least we can still be friends. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers.
Let's go.
Here's the thing, though. Let's face it. The Carson Stadium as itself is not the greatest home field advantage. And the Texans are a good team. So I'm going to actually just stick right at what Vegas has and go ahead and go Chargers. And I say they live up to that 3-point line.
All right. So we're going to skip one game. Just save that one for last. You'll see why here in a second. We're going to go to the Sunday night game, Rams at the Browns. Rams are a 3-point favorite. Who are you guys going with here?
Okay, so this is going to be a big week for the Browns because it's basically a prove-it week. So they beat the Sam Darnold-less New York Jets last week. No one really cared about that matchup. We didn't really make heads or tails about how good this team's going to be long-term heading into the future. And then, obviously, they got, like I said, boat raced out of the stadium by Tennessee. So can they live up to a big-time game Sunday night against the Rams? First time the Browns have been on Sunday Night Football in years. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with the second LA team to win this week. I'm going to say the Rams go big on the road. That offensive line has looked bad, and I think Aaron Donald's going to have a field day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the Rams are just the all-around better team. The Browns have not impressed me all that much this season, and so I'm taking the Rams, and I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well.
All right, Monday night game, Bears at the Redskins. Bears are a 4-point favorite coming off that Eddie Pinheiro field goal kick. They're loving life right now. Who do you guys got?
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Bears, though I think it's going to be another close game. Their offense just looks awful. Trubisky can't do a whole lot right now. I'm going to take the Bears. I think the Redskins are not the best team in the world, so I'm going to take the over, but I don't see the Bears blowing out the Redskins.
This is a rough Monday night game. This is not going to be fun to watch, especially from the offensive point of view. So I'm going to pick the Redskins in an upset pick because the one thing I can say about the Redskins, they look competitive against the Eagles in week 1. They played all right against the Cowboys, who I consider to be one of the better teams in the league. And when I look at what the Bears have done so far, they looked completely lost on offense against the Packers, and they looked even worse somehow against the Broncos the following week. I don't believe in Mitch Trubisky right now, so I got to go with the Redskins. I think that they have enough defensive pieces to make it interesting.
All right, so now we're coming to the last game. This is a Sunday afternoon game, so we just had to skip it. I think only in fairness, Julian, you have to pick the home team. Aundre, you have to pick the away team. In fairness, because it is Aundre's Steelers going to Ju-Ju's Niners.
Oh, you forgot to mention my 2-0 Niners. Thank you very much.
And my 0-2 Steelers.
We don't care about
That being said, I'm going the Steelers. Mason Rudolph looked all right. That one interception that he had was not his fault, right? That was Dante Moncrief's fault, 100%. I'm going Mason Rudolph, and I think the Steelers are going to win.
Well, I'm going to go ahead with my boys here. It's a big week for them, 2-0, heading into a bye week after this. I'm going to take them, but I'm actually going to bet the under because I think their young teams, so giving them a 6.5-point line is a little irresponsible at this point by Vegas. So give me the Niners, give me the under.
Yeah, you guys didn't let me get that because you were so ready to get to defending your team. So
people are sleeping on us now. I think we're not as good without Big Ben, but I still think Mason Rudolph can show what he's got. I think he's going to be fine.
Can I give one note on the Steelers, though? You think Le'Veon Bell is just kind of like watching what's going on with Antonio Brown right now and watching what happened to Ben Roethlisberger right now? And I just have that visualization of that one sock puppet meme that just kind of like slowly looking at the camera like
yeah, he's the only killer bee left at this point. So
all right, guys, so I'm out of time. I actually got to get going, but I appreciate both of you. Ju-Ju, good luck. I think the Steelers will still beat you guys. I'm gonna sign off. See you guys.
Shots fired.